been a friend. We started to get to know each other during some tense times in the order years ago, where we were sitting in a lobby trying to figure out, scratching our heads what to do. Smart guy, going to be a great leader for the organization, and one of my go-to people. So Joey, take it away.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, Lodge 226 is certainly indelible on my mind to this day from those times. But better days ahead. I just want to thank Nancy and Joe for their incredible work over the last 2 years of the pandemic. I think the transition has been a smooth one to Bob and our administration. I say our administration because it really has been an inclusive time. I want to thank my fellow vice presidents for being available for those monthly phone calls and every phone call that pops up in between our regularly scheduled phone call. I think also want to thank the national office, everyone there, as well as Dr. Mary and Dr. Mark for advising and seeing us through this transition. So just as in my steed as first national vice president, I do oversee a number of committees, including the Alzheimer's Committee, Business Development Committee, Future Good of the Order Committee, Scholarship, Education and Culture Committee, as well as the Due Admission Committee. I can tell you that each of those committees has met. Looking forward to continuing the philanthropic efforts of the Alzheimer's Committee. The Business Development Committee has been previously stated by our worthy national president. It's in its inaugural year. We will be working on making connections in this country and abroad with businesses that can help us further our goals, our missions, so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward. I know that committee has met, is working on things. It's led by Michael Brother, co-advisor, Phil Privatera, Dan Onofrio, and Biagio are doing a wonderful job with that committee. The Future Good of the Order Committee, led by Denise Fernari and Gina Niyuchi, met last night. They're going to build on the future, on the past work of that committee, and continue to move forward. So I know we're keeping this to 2 minutes, and I probably went over. So back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Joey. And Joey and myself and Michael all came in at the same time. Michael Polo, and we're kind of like the triad of elections back in the time, and so I appreciate obviously Michael's support. And each of us has the ability to be able to tap into the history of the organization, which is important at times with our fathers, and also with Paul, is intervening when we need to call Dad. We may say, hey, what would you do? It's great to have that support. So I do appreciate Michael Polo's support, and I look forward to continuing to work with him as we all came in together. Michael, what do you got to say?
Good afternoon, worthy president. Thank you so much for giving me this time to address everyone. I wanted to also send my thanks to the national office, to Nancy and Joe. They did a great job. Since we and to of course the past national presidents and the staff at the national office. Since we started, since Bob was brought in as our national president, we've kind of been drinking out of a fire hose. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all that Bob is doing as the national president. I also wanted to say that having Mark and Mary as national liaisons to the national office has been a whirlwind and a great idea. Bob, Joey and I have talked about it, and we will be doing the same thing, because frankly, there's no way you could do all that you do and all the ideas that you're bringing to the order without having a team. So thank you for that. I have the honor of overseeing the following committees: the Business Development Committee, along with my one of my favorite brothers, Joe Boncore, Cooley's Anemia Foundation. I wanted to thank Joe Rondinelli for being the co-chair of that. He's obviously does a great job, and he and not only the state of New York but the nation. We really truly are blessed to have him as a leader and have all of our lodges and grand lodges working towards that mission. The Garibaldi Museum, I'm also an overseer of that, and of course Carlo, a little passionate about it. We all truly enjoy that, and our state of Connecticut is always, our lodge and state are always looking at visiting and becoming part of that. the Solero and the Student Summit have been a little more interesting because we're doing so many virtual things. The Student Summit Committee, which is one of my favorites that I've been involved in, has been kind of on pause. Solero, we're working towards, getting our next Solero Award recipient. And then the last one that I'm overseer of is the Women's Action Committee. And let me just share, we had our inaugural meeting. I love this committee. This committee is all energy, and I will share with you, Bob. I don't know whose idea it was, but by God, it's a great ad. I'm also seeing in all these committees that there's a lot of cross-pollination that's going on, which is great. We're gonna be using this technology that Bob, the technology team, is bringing along. And so I just wanted to give you an oversight of all that. I've gotten so much more involved in these discussions and meetings. The vice president's meeting is so enlightening. I love the 5 vice presidents and Bob and nurturing that. I will share, we're getting into kind of some of the weeds of the order, but frankly, preparing us to be national presidents, it's so rewarding. So thank you for that. And then in closing, I want to also thank my father, Paul Polo, and all the past national presidents. I will share, leaning on their expertise and their wisdom. There is nothing like it. Dad and I work together every day, so I am blessed. And so, talking to Nancy and Vera, God bless you, love you. All the past nationals is a blessing. So I thank you for the time, and we look forward to still drinking out of that fire hose.
Well, yeah, listen, great. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. And I am, I envisioned the Women's Action Committee from the beginning, and I know, I get it, that there's an advisor that's a guy of the Women's Action Committee. I get it, but we're not asking Michael to do anything anatomically to change that situation. So that he is a vice president, and vice presidents are the advisors to those committees. But I am really excited about that committee.
That's a great.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Great, thank you. Tom Lupo, I can't thank enough, and this is why I love the vice presidents on this line. We have business people and Michael Polo and and all leaders, and Joey Boncory in both his politics of old, but now as a leader of a nonprofit, have bring so much talent to the table with regard to their organizational skills. But Tom Lupo is exactly what I am not. He is the numbers guy. He's the budget guy. And so there was a lot of discussion and organizing that needed to be done, a lot of soul searching, a lot of digging. But I want to thank Tom in particular, not only for his expertise, but for his ability to bring moving pieces together in order to make something work. So take it away, Tom.
I love that introduction, Robert. I too would like to thank President Nancy, Joe D, the staff in the office, and of course, President Bob Bianchi for giving me this opportunity to continue to serve the order. My report is on page 16. I just want to mention one highlight, and that is I was so happy that we were able to conduct the first Zoom audit, and we audited Supreme and the CSJ for the fiscal years 2019 and 2020. And we used national trustees from New York, Massachusetts, the Northwest, and Ohio. From New York, Robert Furrito. Massachusetts, Tony Cecito. Northwest, it was Sister Marchese. And from Ohio, it was Terry Latavo. And thank you. That was a wonderful experience. One other accomplishment, and that is getting the investment committee moving. We got approval. We started to move our funds into the investment arena, and through the end of the month of September, as Barb alluded to, that investment has grown to approximately $594,000. Currently, I'm advisor to 4 committees. The Budget Committee, which I spent most of the 8 years with the order working with them. The Investment Committee, which I'm extremely proud of. Fundraising, which I spent some time with Dan. I did have a conversation with Dan right before we closed out the budget, and I twisted his arm. No, I didn't twist his arm. And Dan, even though we really hadn't gotten a chance to work closely with Diane and Dan, Dan was able to give the Budget Committee $25,000 revenues for fundraising without having completely vetted the ideas that they had. And I want to congratulate Diane on her son's wedding. I didn't get a chance to speak with her since that time. And of course, the Site Committee. We all know Paul Polo, and I'm very excited about working with them, knowing some of the difficulties that we experienced trying to balance having fun at a convention, getting the work done, and being able to afford it. Naturally, my focus has been on the 22 and 23 budgets, which will be presented today for your approval. It was a challenging effort working with the 3 co-chairs and Jeff, but in the end, we came together and developed into a team ready to take on the missions and the opportunities that lie ahead. Bob always talks about rocks. That's the rock that I claim for the first 2 months of Bob's administration. Also working with the Investment Committee, now chaired by Tony Naccarato. We talked about him building this new team since Mark, Dan, and Joe D have moved on to other assignments. But we talked about having our advisor evaluated for his performance, just not accepting what he does, even though the results have been super to date. We want to have him evaluated with an outside source, and of course, take a look at our investment policy to ascertain whether or not it continues to meet the needs of the organization. That's it.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for all that hard work. Yeah, it wasn't an effort, all of us working together on that budget. Okay, Mark D'Annunzio, I mean, I can't say enough again. Mark literally should be parking himself at the national office. We may get him a little cot and a pillow. He has really been a huge value to all of us in the organization. And Mark's the kind of guy, you give him something to do and you kind of regret it because you get like 50 emails and 10 texts and whatever, but it actually comes out better than I had anticipated. And if you haven't had a chance to see Mark making a pizza, it's on, I think it's somewhere on YouTube, wherever we may play it during this convention. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. All right, Mark, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Bob. I'm going to share a screen. I want to first thank President Nancy for her support and confidence in me and letting me handle the membership commission during the last term. And I'd like to thank you, Bob, for your faith and confidence in me to handle these assignments. First, I want to recognize the tech committee, which I oversee, Dan Onofrio and Luigi Scolanti back into the fold. And that was funny that you mentioned that the OSDIA.org, because when we had him back on for this first meeting, we had been searching for that for 2 years, and GoDaddy asked you, they say, we have somebody who has this for $150. We will negotiate getting that back to you. And we were in ink. Do we want to spend the money back and forth? And Luigi gets on the tech committee meeting and goes, oh, by the way, I have the OSDIA.org site. And we're like, Luigi, we've been looking for that forever. So that's meeting together and interchanging ideas. That's the value. And the membership commission turned that over to Mary Kovac and Ralph Capaccio, and expect great things from them. I'm just going to tell a little story here that Robert Furrito asked me to talk about this and the trademarks. So this, as you see on your screen, came into the national office, and Justin sent it out to a few of us and said, what is this? It looks like we have to renew our trademark, and the fee down here is for $1,650 will renew your trademark. And so in the dental profession, there are scammers all the time. And this is a usual scam where they send your front desk a bill or they say your license needs to be renewed. So I, from working with Joe Rondinelli, I knew that our trademark attorney was Sonny Scapetta. So I sent it over to him and I said, is this a scam? He said, yes, absolutely, it is a scam. And I said, okay, well, we're not going to be paying that. So that started kind of pulling the thread. We started looking at our trademarks when they were due. Sonny sent over a table of when they were supposed to be paid. And we have now a grasp of that. And also in that exchange, we were talking about ideas in the past that we wanted to trademark all the acronyms, OSDIA, OSIA, CSJ, and SIF. They hadn't been trademarked yet. So we again went back to Sonny Scapetta. Tony Perfilio did that. He was asking him questions also on another trademark issue, one of our local lodge wanting to use the mark on some T-shirts. But Tony Perfilio very professionally set up questions for Sonny and went down and asked him, well, what would the fees be to renew the trademarks or to gain trademarks on all of the acronyms? And doing the calculations at best I could, because there were fixed fees, and it was around $2,000 for each trademark. So
Okay, Mark, let's get to. I'm sorry, I just want to move the program along. So
okay, so we met, decided that okay, we're going to try to do this ourselves, and using the YouTube channel to find out how to do it. We got the application accepted for the OSDIA trademark, and that's been accepted for review. And later on, we're going to try to trademark the CSJ with the emblem, and then there's a new emblem that Bob would like to formalize. Oops, it went away. Okay. Right down here, this emblem here. So we're going to try to formalize that and trademark it. So that's my story, and I'll now move on to the fifth vice president. Thank you.
okay, Mark, thank you for that. Tony Anderson is, like Michael mentioned before, the Women's Action Committee, the Business Development Committee, and the Grand Lodge Committee are three committees that I thought were essential. And I want to put Tony on this because he has demonstrated an ability to work out problems that exist. And I think a lot of that's from miscommunication. And Tony's a great communicator, is a good friend, and has always gotten the job done. So the committees I gave to him, this is one of the more important committees to make sure that we can start working better relationships with those Grand Lodges. So Tony, take it away. Tony, maybe on mute. Tony Anderson. Is Tony on mute?
He is muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I do want to thank our immediate past national president, Nancy, and Joe DiTrapani for their outstanding leadership. And I know Bob is going to carry it on into the future. I want to thank him for his confidence in me, and working with this Grand Lodge Outreach Committee is extremely important. I think that for us to be successful, everyone has to be on the same page, working in the same direction, and moving this boat down the river for future successes, so we exist. So I'm confident that with the help of Michelle Ment and Diane Santoro, we can be there for all of the Grand Lodges and state lodges as the case may be. I'm also happy to be advisor of the Autism Committee. It's special to my heart, and I've talked with Anita Lombardi-Riley, and we're working with the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism already, and everyone knows that Anita is the queen of baskets. So she's put together this great basket that we're going to move forward and sell tickets and raffle it off virtually and just to have a little fun and raise some money. With a gold membership program, I've been talking with Brother Bob in Myrtle Beach and the founder of our gold membership program, past National President Paul Polo. And we have some ideas, and what we'd like to do is at least gain 50% membership by next February when we meet in South Carolina. The Marconi Award, I've spoken with brother and past National President Joe Russo and brother Vincent Zachariah, and we're going to be moving in that direction as soon as we present the one this year. And of course, the Sports Award Committee, which is a fun committee, and the chair people, Nick and Sue and Terry. We had a great Zoom meeting, and we're going to come back and have another meeting in mid-January, and we're going to come up with some good people that we can honor with that award. And in a previous conversation with our national president, it'd be great if we could get connected with Joe Torre, Mr. President. That would be a great name for us to add to our list of Hall of Fame sports recipients. But with that, Mr. President, that's my report for today.
Okay, Tony. Yeah, see, one of the things that Tony's talking about 50%, and Tom referred to rocks. I call them quarterly rocks. What we're trying to do is actually have reasonable metrics that we can measure it so that everybody has a certain goal to achieve. It's okay if it's not achieved, but then we try to figure out why the goal wasn't achieved. So that's something that's kind of new. And I know Tony's and his committee is going to do a great job with that. I'm going to take things out of order a little bit here because I know Robert Furrito has some time constraints, and I want to make sure that he's able to get his report in. So CSJ President Robert Furrito.
I'm here. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. First, let me just say I want to thank our immediate past president, Nancy DeFiore Quinn, for appointing me president of CSJ. She has fueled my passion for my Italian heritage. And I want to thank Joe D for including me in those weekly calls. I think it was so important to have everybody on board to show to everybody to know where we were going with CSJ and in conjunction with National. And I really have to thank Bob Bianchi for reappointing me to this position. It's been a great ride, and I have the opportunity to continue what we started. I'm just going to, my report's broken up into 3 sections: what we've been doing the last 2 years, some operating procedures, our new strategy, and what we're looking to do in the future. So just bear with me, and we'll take it from there. Over the last 2 years, we've been dealing with the number one issue, the Columbus issue, and the attacks on the Italian American community. We had statues taken down. We had school boards removing the holidays. We had things happening just being derogatory to the Italian American community. We've had some successes and we've had some failures, as you have seen by the notices that we have sent out over the last 2 years through our tremendous staff. And Miles and the rest of the staff have been outrageously tremendous in getting the information out. I would call up in the morning, got to get it out. Of course, timing is everything on these reports and addressing these issues. You can't address an issue a week later after it happens. You got to strike while the iron's hot. We also recognized the importance of working with other organizations. We belong to the Conference of Presidents. It's called Copa Mayo, and we belong to the Columbus Education Foundation. And I have to say also, while I'm here, many, many years ago, John DeBaney worked very closely with the Italian American One Voice Coalition from New Jersey. I have rekindled that relationship with Andre Domino and Manny Alfano, and we will be working very closely with them. They have a tremendous resources that we can use, and we have resources that they can use. And that's an important point I want to make. OSDIA has been a major player in these organizations. I have been asked to lead the Save Columbus Day Committee, and through this committee, we have gotten a lot of information out. We recently did a mailing. We were instrumental in getting a mailing out to 585 House of Representatives and Senators in Washington, D.C. And I have to say, I just got a response today. Miles sent it to me from a House of Representatives from North Carolina in support of what we're doing and has no intentions of eliminating Columbus Day, and anything that he could do, he will be happy to assist. That's a tremendous thing that we're going to start getting responses from. We've, through Copomayo, through the Conference of Presidents, our inclusion, we're able to provide legal advice to our filial lodges and our national lodges. You know, it takes a lot of money to do that. We certainly don't have that kind of resources. We do have other resources, and we were able to aid them in whatever they had to do, giving them the procedures, the advice to try and stop school boards, try and get these statutes from coming down. So that's basically what we've been doing the last 2 years. As far as some SOPs, I ask that everybody please, and it's not because we want to control what your lodge, your Grand Lodge is doing. It's a matter of monitoring so that we can best aid you in continuing our mission to preserve Columbus Day and to preserve the holiday and to preserve our Italian heritage and the attacks that are coming forward. So please don't take it as some kind of control. We have this affiliation with all these organizations throughout the entire country, and we can use them to our benefit and to the benefit of the Italian American community. So we have a new strategy. You know, education is definitely having an effect through all these committees throughout the entire United States. Everyone is understanding that Columbus really didn't do what everyone is saying that he did do. However, our opponents have a new, different approach. It's now that the Europeans who immigrated after Columbus have created all the woes in the United States. They have brought this terrible disease to us because of the discovery of the New World by Christopher Columbus. And they cannot dispute the facts anymore. It's obvious by some of the proclamations that have come out, and I'm sorry to say that one came out by our President of the United States. I'm sorry to say that, because while he gave us proclamations on our Italian heritage and what we do, he did blame us for some of those woes. And he appointed October 11th as Indigenous Day, a proclamation, 365 days. We asked him to pick another one. A letter has gone out from the Conference of Presidents that I signed, asking him to please look at it again and take care of that issue, which led to the governors doing the same thing, because he enabled them to do the same thing. In my own state of New York, we have an issue going on right now with the same issue, and they issue it on the day, on Columbus Day. So we're going to be dealing with that issue. We're approaching them. We're going to have dialogue with them, but he needs to know that any other day is absolutely acceptable. We will stand next to them and present those proclamations with them for Indigenous Day. But please do not affect our holiday. And you know what? It's an American holiday. It's not so much the Italian holiday. It's an American holiday, and that's the simple truth. Look into the future. In our conversations on our weekly meetings, we're speaking with our production team, Mary, Justin, Lisa, Mark, and our national president. We will be addressing all the points. We're going to be doing live videos, and we're going to be inviting leaders of the other organizations to join us, discussing the issues that are facing the Italian American community, and absolutely continue the education that comes with those videos. Those videos will be a phenomenal tool for our Italian American community. You know, I have to say, having worked with other organizations, I know it's a cliche that we use all the time, but we are the largest and the oldest, and we have resources, but you know, we need funds to make that work. We have to expand our revenue sources if we're going to lead like the largest and oldest organization. So please, if you see in the magazine, you want to help out, it's really important to have those resources. Of course, attorneys take money, filing papers take money, and we ask you for your help. National President Bob, that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the great work you do. I can attest firsthand from our conversations. Robert works tirelessly on this Columbus issue, and you know, we need it. And we're also going to be working a lot on positive image as well. So thank you for all the work that you do, Robert. So we do have a real quick clip, and I think after this maybe be time for take our break a little bit early before we do foundation. But I just want to show you, Justin, there's something that we put out for Columbus Day. My name is Bob Bianchi. I am honored to be the national president of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest and oldest Italian-American organization in the United States. I want to talk to you today about Columbus Day. We all know about the fictions that have been passed around about Columbus, and if you don't, you can go to OSIA.org and you can read all the information that is published by the Commission for Social Justice, which is the anti-discrimination and defamation arm of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. But what concerns me more is the fact that we have gotten no respect, and our voice has not been heard with the political establishment on a federal, state, or local level. And this is a bipartisan disrespect to the Italians in this country. Okay, guys, let's take that down and we'll improve that. And it's gone on for too long. Take that. So since we have a little time before the break, I'd like to take a little out of order, but I'm going to ask Justin and Miles if they wouldn't mind just giving us a little snapshot of what's going on at the national office from their perspective. And I know you guys are there. Can't see you, but
yeah.
Okay, guys, take it away.
Hey, everybody. As you can tell, based on what Bob was talking about, there are a lot of new ideas, a lot of different directions that we're taking the order in. But some of those new directions are just they're riffing off of some old ideas. One thing that I want to display is we're having the family photo contest. As you guys may know, we would do a contest with Bianca Ottone of My Italian Family, who graciously donates a genealogy package that's worth $3,000. So we decided this time around, let's open it up to all of our members. Let's do something on the national level, from the national office, from the national officers, that incorporates all members and makes them proud to be in the order and encourages them to send in their family photo. And this is mine. These are my great-grandparents, Alberto Cicchetti and Armando Molella, and they are sisters and they are cousins. Really cool photo and a cool backstory behind it. And we're encouraging everybody to take part by sending in their family photo and including their story. And then this way they'll get entered in the competition. And we also have all these family photos to use for Justin to use on social media and Instagram. They're very popular. People love seeing them. They never get old. And it's just something new and fresh that we're doing to reach out to, especially the current members, as we figure out ways to bring in new members. And then one more thing that I'd like to key on that is a new idea, but off of something that already exists and has existed, something old that I know is going to bring a smile to Joe Shami's face, is the direct mail program. When you get the calendar in the mail, when you get the tote bag in the mail, and if you don't get these things in the mail, all you have to do is make a donation. They go to anyone who's made a donation in the past year. So as long as you make a donation every year, it could be $10, it could be $10 million. As long as you make a donation, you get these products. And now, because of my role with the magazine, I know everything that the foundation does. I know all of the donations that they're making. I'm in close contact with Joe. I'm working now with the mail house that sends these products out and sends the letters out about the foundation. And usually in the past, they've always written the letters. Now we're bringing them in-house. We're working on them in the national office so that we can give everybody an idea of exactly what the foundation is doing. Concrete things like the letter that will go out for the address labels is going to focus on the Help Our Military Heroes Band that we give out every year. We're going to show pictures in the letter of Luke, the veteran who received it, with quotes from him. And we're going to say, hey, we're giving out another band in 2022. Be a part of that. Send us a contribution so that we can do something on behalf of our Italian heritage and on the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. And this is just taking something that's old and freshening it up, seeing what we can have a hand in to make things better, to make it all better. And what's wonderful about these letters is they go out not just to members, but to all sorts of people with Italian surnames who have donated. Maybe they're not members, maybe they'll become members, but they'll know what the foundation is doing. It'll reach a lot of people. And these are just some of the new things. We've taken things that have already existed and just kind of freshened them up, brought a certain level of creativity to it. And we hope, our current members are going to love the contest, and everything that we're doing is going to attract new members to bring them in and have them be a part of things.
Thank you, Miles. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Justin?
Yeah, and I'll be brief, but kind of to build off of things that President Nancy said, President Bob have said, and Miles have said. We weathered the storm of COVID. Obviously, we're still coming out of that, hopefully with the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. But we've hit this point where we're ready to explode. We have a ton. It's an extremely exciting time to be part of to not only be members but also be a staff member. We have a lot of really cool ideas in the pipeline. We're all working really hard to get those ideas out there, so that all of our members can really enjoy and take pride in being part of this organization. That's our end goal, is the not only for the organization to survive, but to prosper. And that's what we're working every day to do. And like I said, it's a really exciting time to be a part of that. And hopefully you guys feel that same way and can see the work that we're putting in. So President Bob, Lisa Marie actually has the CSJ video queued up if we want to play that real quick.
Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. Go ahead, Lisa. Audio. United States. I want to talk to you today about Columbus Day. We all know about the fictions that have been passed around about Columbus. And if you don't, you can go to OSDIA.org and you can read all the information that is published by the Commission for Social Justice, which is the anti-discrimination and defamation arm of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. But what concerns me more is the fact that we have gotten no respect and our voice has not been heard with the political establishment on a federal, state, or local level. And this is a bipartisan disrespect to the Italians in this country. And it's gone on for too long. It's bad enough that we're a group that can be depicted as criminals and mob figures and buffoons in the media, and nobody does anything about it. But now they take away the day that the President of the United States instituted, and it was passed through Congress because of all of the discrimination that the Italians had suffered. And who did the president point to show the greatness of the Italian-American culture, as was approved by the Congress of the United States? Christopher Columbus. Why Columbus? Well, we're judging him from 400 and 500 years ago. But they didn't do anything with respect to bad things, quote unquote, Columbus did or didn't do, whether they're true or not. They did it because of the greatness of what Columbus represented. And that is why Columbus Day has not only been adopted by Italian Americans, but by communities throughout the United States. Columbus, Ohio, Columbia University, Columbia Turnpike right down the road from where I'm at right now, the District of Columbia, all canceled because of false information. And we can't get anyone to listen to our message, to even as much as institute a committee to do a true fact finding with respect to the fallacies that are occurring with respect to Columbus. But Columbus was a lot more than just a historical figure. This was a person that the Italian-American community rallied around. Going back to my own personal history of my own life and my family's life and my legacy, my great-grandfather immigrated to the United States, spoke 7 languages, Greek and Latin included, not one word of English, and wound up matriculating at the University of Maryland Medical School and became the first Italian-American doctor in Newark, New Jersey. He and a number of other individuals scraped pennies and dimes together to build a Columbus statue in a park, of which they were very proud. And my great-grandfather's name was on that statue as one of the founding people. Where's that statue now? It's gone. No one knows where it is. Canceled. They're the ones who paid for it, yet the city. Audio. In an independent places, people are just removing Columbus Day because it just feels like that's what they should do. But I thought we were a country where we try to unify individuals, not divide them. There is no problem, and we have never had a problem, and we have stood up for discrimination of all sorts of groups in the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. We believe in inclusion. So if inclusion is what we're all about, then why are the Italian American community being canceled with respect to this Columbus issue? And why is it that Congress, and we've gone down and asked, we have a national headquarters in Washington, D.C., won't as much as put an intern or two to do a fact-finding mission so that we can at least operate from a truthful set of facts with respect to this issue? They give us lip service, but they give us no action. So we are, and I commit as the national president, working with all Italian American groups, are going to make sure that our voice gets heard and our money gets put in a place where politicians will take notice of us. Every other ethnic group has notice taken of it. Why is it that the Italian American community is constantly spit on? After all the great things that we have done for this country, we want to be heard. I want to especially thank here, give recognition to the Southern Colorado Lodge 2738 and the Colorado Italian American Foundation for their support of Columbus and his initiatives, as well as all the things that they are doing to make Columbus Day stay here a reality. And my friend Jerry Carleo, thank you for inviting me to always be a participant in all of the great work that you're doing. I'm not just a person who's saying I'm proud to be a supporter of Columbus. I was actually the Grand Marshal when I was the county prosecutor when we had our Columbus Day parade in East Hanover, New Jersey. I'm not sure how many more years of a parade we're going to have left if we're not heard. So please, if you are not a member of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, go to our website at osdia.org and join us. It's not just about Columbus. We raise tens of millions of dollars through the years for charities like Alzheimer's and autism and bands for veterans who are wounded in war and so many other causes, as well as the scholarships that we give out. Yes, once again, the Italian American community doing the right thing. So we ask that you join us, join our social media platforms, and please go onto YouTube and type in Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and hit that subscribe button, because it's only by our ability to communicate with one another that we can put up the front we need to in order to get the respect we deserve. I want to thank you very much for listening to my message, and I hope you have a great Columbus Day. Okay, thank you so much, Lisa.
I
I wanna
just say
let
one
you know
thing, I'm
quickly
so
that-
happy. I'm so happy you shared the Grand Marshal. in that.
Yeah, that's where Lisa and myself actually first met. I think I was her first job, the Columbus committee in East Hanover. I was the prosecutor, and she came in to interview me. So yeah, Lisa, there's a lot of history there. Okay. I'm sorry, Justin, you were about to say something?
I wanted to let you know that Vera had her hand raised.
Oh, go ahead, Vera. Vera?
Was that Vera 1 or Vera 2?
I think,
Vera one.
go ahead.
I just wanted to say happy birthday to Robert Furrito.
All right,
Thanks,
Robert,
Vera.
happy
Thanks so
birthday.
much.
Okay, guys, we have a Sons of Italy Foundation report coming up next. Would you folks want to muscle on through it, or who wants to take a break? Raise your hand. Let's take a break.
You ready? Okay. Good
Raise your-
afternoon.
Wait, hold on a
Yeah.
second. I'm trying to see who wants to take a break. Okay, it seems like most people want to go through.
Okay,
Yeah.
take a break.
No, Joe. It seems like most people want to go through with the presentation. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, and let me join in the welcome and greetings to all. As I sit here at the desk at St. John's University, where I've spent the better portion of my life, it is an honor for me to have served as the president of the Sons of Italy Foundation for the last 2 years during one of the most challenging times in our combined lives. Nonetheless, we persevered, and we are here today, perhaps in a different mode, without the hugging and the warm embraces, but we are here. Regretfully, just about 1 hour ago before we started, I learned of the passing of a colleague that I've known for over 30 years, who unfortunately spent the last month in the hospital with COVID and has passed on. So I asked as well that we remember him and so many others. I thank Vera Ferrara-Girolami for always being in my corner, as well as the appointment by Nancy DeFiore Quinn, for we've gone back so many years working together. During the course of the last 2 years, I've been an integral and major part of the ongoing communications of all three entities. That is the Supreme Lodge, the CSJ, and the SIF. Coordinated by then COO Joe DiTrapani, we met regularly each week during a week and with our then national president, Nancy, and the staff all in DC. Since August 14th, we are now meeting with National President Bianchi, and the meetings have been fruitful, more so in so many different ways with new initiatives in the sharing of information and moving us all forward, which I like to think is probably the thinking of our founder, Dr. Vincenzo Solaro. In terms of our foundation, it is strong, very strong, and yes, scholarship rich, but charity generous, as you will hear during the course of the convention, because an appeal was made to all of you as Grand Lodges, and you've responded beautifully. We may not have done extremely well last year, but I can tell you, you'll be very surprised as to what has come
All
in.
right, we ready?
We have received we've reached great heights that have been unparalleled, and especially owing to the generosity of so many. But perhaps the best legacy is from the Franzone family, a husband and wife who saved their resources and as a result benefited us with a $1 million scholarship endowment of their own to bear their name in perpetuity. We are ever so grateful to them, who without their children, didn't have any, left the funds to assist children with higher education. As well, during the course of the biennium, we did receive many other monies. And I just want to share it with you because it is astounding. $50,000 from a woman in her estate planning, $13,000 from a woman in New Hampshire whom we didn't even know. And those monies, as some of you know from the conference calls, were used to assist the Grand Lodge of Nebraska with their then fire restoration. Phil Privatera, who so generously over the years had donated $20,000 more for the endowed scholarship, $20,000 a year for the next 4 years to come from Joe DiTrapani to establish the $100,000 DiTrapani Family Scholarship. Anthony Perfilio helping us with the Neela Scholarship. Mark D'Annunzio, myself, these are all $5,000 scholarships. The American University of Rome, the Columbus Citizens Foundation, and the Lido Club of Washington helping us, and even the Brick Mill Program. All these scholarships together have brought us to a place that I don't know about you, but I could not be more proud because we help so many students. My thanks, of course, to the staff, because we as a foundation have kept pace with all that is required to remain sound as a 501c3 organization. We have one of the top ratings on Navigator. I don't know how many of you ever go on it, but check it. We have an extremely high rating for what we do. I want to thank Adam Jacobs and, of course, Jeff Drake for monitoring all of these monies so very carefully. There are some highlights. We remember when we left the last convention, I think it was Anita Riley who petitioned us and wanted us to support the Brumidi statue in Annapolis. Through your generosity, we committed to a $5,000 commitment, and we paid for the base of the statue. It's the most beautiful statue in the heart of Annapolis. And I have to tell you, the Greek community that day welcomed me and Anita with open arms. It was absolutely incredible. In terms of our standing with finances, I think we've received the reports, and you're going to see them shortly as required. We've met all of them. And yes, even with the pandemic, we've attempted to keep everybody informed. I thank Miles Fisher for the great messages in the Italian America magazine that have come out, as well all the efforts by Justin Smith to include me as needed in the weekly interviews when scheduled, and to respond to so much throughout the year. It's all been greatly appreciated. With regard to the Neela, our showcase event, we did such in May 2021. We honored 15 students, the most ever, and we hit a total of 105,000 awarded, the highest amount given. I might mention to you that years ago, back in 1989, we were only giving out 10,000 from the National Sons of Italy and 10,000 from the Grand Lodges. I thank Emily Knock in the office for the coordination of the scholarship registrants, and then Michelle Ment and her committee who picked the best of the best out of 500. And yes, while the virtual Neela was not our choosing owing to the pandemic, we made the best of it, and we did gross over $200,000. That again is a testament to the generosity of our people, our members, our friends who are vendors and sponsors. One of our honorees provided almost 1/4 of those proceeds. And so we proved we could do it. God willing, our thoughts head for a real in-person deal in 2022, but all of it's being reviewed carefully to ensure that we can make the proposed budget, which you will approve. And I also want to point out that the 2022 scholarship applications are live, again, thanks to Emily's early work. Another piece to the SIF puzzle has been the involvement of your president here on the founding board of the NCEF with CSJ President Robert Furrito. You may have forgotten, but it was due to the generosity of the CSJ and the Sons of Italy Foundation and the New York State OSDIA Grand Lodge that we came up with $50,000. We are a partner out of 6 groups that contributed $50,000 each. Our weekly meetings have been tense at times in defending the Columbus story, but most of all, we of the OSDIA have been at the head of the table. There are very few who would ever discount the overwhelming work written and the verbal talks that we've done by Robert Furrito, and we shall continue that battle in the months ahead. Again, your Sons of Italy Foundation has been mentioned over and over again, in fact, in the recent letter that was sent to the White House. Another piece of this relates to the Garibaldi Museum, where I can convey that since February 2020, when we left Florida, a total of $40,000 has been raised almost single-handedly by approaching many of you, many of the people there, towards the goal of $75,000 for the benches that are to be there on the ground. The benches are there, your names are soon to be inscribed, and we're getting close to the arrival of the Tower of Venice, the 40-foot tower that will be lit with Murano glass. This is a gift and it is being shipped over from Italy. We thought at one point it could be flown, but the Italian ministry denied that, as did the American government. I thank Brother Carl Ciaccio, the chair of the New York State Commission for the museum. Recall that while we of the Sons of Italy own it, the foundation, it is the New York State Grand Lodge through an agreement back in 1976 that monitors it every single day. They're all New Yorkers that are there. That means that when the tower was considered, the SIF board had to approve it because we of the SIF own it. God willing, the tower will be there via boat by the end of the year. And at the same time, we're very fortunate to have SIF trustee Carlo Matucci, who is a most rigorous trustee and chair of the GMM National Overseers. Their role is simple. Help us raise the money nationally. That means every lodge, every Grand Lodge needs to do their share. And in fact, on Saturday, November 6th, we will have the second, unfortunately, virtual luncheon. And we need everybody's help. We had 148 people there who came to the luncheon last year, but we made as much money as the year before because we didn't have to pay the catering house. So please open your pocketbooks, your checkbooks, and help us. 2 last pieces. A special word that our mail order program that was designed years ago, without that, I don't know where we would be. If you are not on our listing, if you are not contributing, whether it's $5, $10, $20, $100, you are missing the boat. We have brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars through the mail order program, grossing it. And then obviously after the bills are taken out, we make an inordinate amount of money, which you're going to see on your report. And so I could go on with accomplishments, but let me share, there's no day when the OSDIA SIF is not on my and our plate. Our elected trustees worked for the last 2 years to raise the money. They did it in this biennium that just ended, and God willing, they'll do it again. Surely we will as a foundation. Again, it has been my honor to serve as the president these last 2 years. And now in my 53rd year as a Sons of Italy member, and as someone who has come to these meetings since 1975, when I was elected as a delegate, I have been there as your past president, national past president. Can't believe it was so long ago, 2003 to 05, a former honoree of the Marconi Award. And all I can say is that I exude with pride at times, and you know it. So I'm there for you. I'm there for everyone and for the Italian American community. I do want to end with something that the Sons of Italy Foundation did help with. And this is what you helped with. This year is the 700th anniversary of Dante Alighieri, who obviously you know what he contributed to the world. we of the Sons of Italy, with our minimal award to them, we got recognition in their publications and we helped throughout. So I thank you. I ask God's blessing on all of us, and let's continue to support the OSDIA and especially the Sons of Italy Foundation with more to come. Thank you and God bless.
Right. Hey, Joe DiTrapani, I don't know. I think Joe Shiami's trying to catch up to you here. He's done a lot, Joe D. You're on mute, Joe. Yeah. All right. We're going to have a face-off between Joe Shiami and Joe DiTrapani one of these days. Tech committee, get on that. All right, guys. We have talk about Niyuchi Museum and the luncheon at Carlo and all the great work that those guys are doing. This is something that's a short video that we're going to be putting out, hopefully to help promote it across all of our social media platforms. I can't express enough. It is so easy to do the virtual Zoom luncheon, and it was a great time. It's really well organized, just like the Neela was. My wife would love both of them. So if we could just play that real quick. My name is Bob Bianchi. I'm the national president of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest and oldest Italian-American group in the entire United States. We are so proud of all of our members that are in our lodges throughout the United States, as well as the fact that we raise tens of millions of dollars for charities, a huge amount of money for scholarships, and we do the best we can to get out into the community to help our fellow man out there in all the different states in the United States. We have lodges and grand lodges and chapters throughout the country, and we hope that you would consider going to www.osia.org and take a look at what it is that we have to offer. You can join as an at-large member, which is pretty much something that we do online, or you can find out where your local lodges are and actually participate in the projects of those local lodges. But a lot of people don't know about the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America is that we have what we call the crown jewel of our organization, and that is the Garibaldi Niyuchi Museum that's located in Staten Island, New York, honoring those two great men, Garibaldi and Niyuchi. What you're about to see in the upcoming video is what that museum looks like and why it is we do what we do to honor those two great Italians that lived in the United States, and this historical landmark, what it means to us, not just Italians, but to everybody. And what we're asking is that you please consider a luncheon that we're having to raise funds, because it's only through the raising of funds that we can keep this cherished item in the Sons of Italy moving and alive and moving forward, because the members that work on that committee and that commission and all those folks there do a great job. Let's make sure they're funded so it can keep on going. So our 33rd annual fundraiser is Saturday, November 6th at 2 p.m. That's Saturday, November 6th at 2 p.m. And you can buy tickets online and you can make donations online by just going to the Garibaldi Niyuchi website, which is located at www.garibaldiniyuchimuseum.com. So please consider joining our auction that we're having, as well as being a participant in the luncheon, so that this crown jewel of the organization can keep moving forward. And if you haven't done it already, please make sure that you follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And please go to YouTube, type in Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, get onto our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Hey, looking forward to seeing you at the Garibaldi Niyuchi luncheon on Saturday, November 6th. See you there.
Oh, hi, I have company. Let me call you back. Hi, my name is Anne-Marie. Welcome to this week's installment of A Few Minutes at Niyuchi's. Welcome to the Garibaldi Niyuchi Museum, the home of Antonio Niyuchi, the gentleman in the white beard, and his wife, Esther. Each week on A Few Minutes at Niyuchi's, we will be bringing you a short video where we talk about a certain artifact that we have at the museum, or an Italian custom, or something that's interesting about the museum structure. On today's episode of A Few Minutes at Niyuchi's, we will be exploring verbal communication's greatest accessory, the telephone. In the mid-1800s, Antonio and his wife Esther came to the United States to start their lives in New York City. In this home in Staten Island, Antonio was an Italian inventor who created countless things, has countless inventions, many of them we still use today, such as coffee filters, tea filters, carbonated fruit beverages, loudspeaker PA systems. But there was one invention that he created that we all use on a daily basis. Now, I know you know what this is, but if I were to show you this, would you have a clue? Can you guess what it is? This is called the teletrafono. In the late 1840s, Antonio was helping a man who was suffering from severe headaches. During his treatment for this man, he discovered that sound can travel through copper wires. Shortly thereafter, Antonio's wife, Esther, was suffering from debilitating arthritis. She was bedridden. He was in his basement all the time working on inventions. She was on the second floor in her bedroom in pain. She needed to communicate with him. He needed to communicate with her. So Antonio decided to move forward with this realization that sound can travel through copper wires. So he decided to create a telephone. It's a fairly simple invention. You talk into this side, you talk into one side, the sound travels through the wires, and then the other person listens with the other end. Over the years, the telephone has changed drastically. And we have gone from something as simple as this to rotary phones and wall phones and intercom systems, push button phones, down to cell phones. If it weren't for Antonio's original idea of the telephone, we may not have all of this. We may not have the ability to be on the go and talk to our family and friends. I don't know about you, but I kind of think if it weren't for Antonio Niyuchi, I don't know if we would be able to have constant communication. I'm really glad Antonio got the ball rolling on this, or the phone ringing. Thanks for joining us on this week's episode, and we look forward to seeing you next time for a few minutes at Niyuchi's. Ciao for now.
That's a great job. So if you guys could please, I hope every single person on this Zoom can support the luncheon. We'd love to have you, or even if you can't make a donation, I know we'll talk to Carlo about that a little bit later on tomorrow or so on the agenda. So let's take a break before we get into budget and finance. Say 15 minutes, and we'll come